this video, we are going to learn what is Data Definition Language, in short, DDL. In SQL, DDL is a computer language which is used to create and modify the structure of database. The most frequently used DDL commands are create, alter, drop, rename, and truncate. We are now going to look at them one by one. First, let us see create. Create is a DDL operation which is mostly used. This helps in creating, defining the data schema, and creating the table structure. Here is the syntax for creating a table. Create table is the main command to create a table. Then we have the table name, a bracket starts, and then we have pair of columns and their data types separated by commas. And at the last we have a closing bracket and a semicolon. Let's understand this with an example. Here we have an example to create a table, and on the left we have the syntax which we have just seen. Create table is the statement which will help us to create the table. In our example, the table name is user past activity. This is one of the table from our search engine example which you have seen in the previous videos. Now, after entering the table name, we need to open the bracket, and inside the bracket we need to write the column names and their data types. As you can see, this is where we write the name of our first column and declare their data type. In our example, the first column is user ID and the data type of user ID is integer. So we are declaring the data type as int. Similarly, we have to write the names of each column of the user past activity table and declare their respective data types. Now make sure that each pair of column names and its data type is separated by a comma. After entering the column names and their data types, we need to close the bracket and need to end the syntax with a semicolon. Now, if we visualize the output of this example, it will only be the column headers without any value in it. We need to add the values into the table separately. In the upcoming videos, we will see how to create a table and insert values in a SQL editor. Now let's look at the alter operation. The command alter performs modification on the table such as add, drop, rename, etc. Let's look at each alter operations one by one. The first alter operation we are going to see is add. And as the name goes, add operation will add a column in our table, and by default this creates a column with null values. This is the syntax for alter add operation. Alter table is the main statement here, and then we need to mention the table name and then the keyword add. Here you need to enter the column name and its data type and end the command with a semicolon. Let's look at an example now. This is the user past activity table from our search engine case study. We want to add a column here called last date engaged. Please pause the video for a second and try to write the command by yourself. I hope you will get the query right. Let's look at the command now. It will start with the statement alter table, then the table name, which is user past activity in our case, and then the keyword add, and then the name that we want to give the column, that is last date engaged. And in the last we have to mention the data type and end the syntax with a semicolon. After running the DDL, this is how the output will look like. Here is the newly added column, and the add operation by default adds null values to the column. Now let's see what drop operation does. A drop operation helps in dropping or deleting a column from a table. Drop operation isn't allowed in some databases as this operation is mostly used for deleting a column. We can also delete the entire table, but it's a very rare case. Here is the syntax to drop a column. The syntax looks same as the add operation. It starts with the statement alter table, table name, and then we have the keyword drop, and at the last we have the column name which we want to drop. Let's look at an example now. Here we have the same user past activity table from our search engine case study. Now we want to drop the column page clicked. Before I show you the query, I want you to give it a try. So go ahead and pause the video. Let's look at the command now. The command starts with alter table, then the table name, that is user past activity, and then the keyword drop, and then the column name which we want to drop. After running the DTL, this is how the output will look like. Now let us look at rename. This is used to change the name of the column. You can also change the table name using this operation. Keep in mind that the column should already exist in the database, else you will get an error. Now we will see the syntax for rename. Here, the command starts with alter table and table name, and then the keyword rename column, and then the existing name of the column to the new name that we want to give. Now let us look at one example. Again, let's take the user past activity table. We want to change the name of this column to last page clicked. So how would we do that? Again, please go ahead and pause the video and try to write the command by yourself. Let's look at the command now. Here it will start with the statement alter table and then the table name which is user past activity and then the keyword rename column and then the existing name that is page clicked to the new name that is last page clicked in our case. After running the DDL, this is how the output would look like. You can observe that the name of this column is changed from page clicked to last page clicked. Now let us see the truncate. Truncate is used to delete values inside the table, not the entire table. Truncating the table means you're keeping the headers, you're keeping the empty skeleton of the table. This is the syntax for truncating the table. It is very simple. First, the statement we have truncate, table, and then the table name. Let's look at an example. Let's take our favorite example table, that is user past activity. Let's look at the command now. Here, the statement starts with truncate table and then the table name which you want to truncate. That is user past activity in our case.